Good day, everyone. Today, we delved into one of the most critical and high stakes scenarios faced by the law enforcement and the negotiators the hostage taking incidents. These situations are not only emotionally charged, they're also strategically complex, requiring split seconds decisions that can make the difference between life and death. Now, let's move on to the choices available to hostage taker during incidents. The first one is choosing martyrdom. This involves killing the hostages and committing suicide. It's a devastating outcome often driven by desperation, illogical motives, or a complete loss of hope. This video is the example of choosing martyrdom. On September 1, 2004, armed militants from Chechnya took more than 1,100 people, mostly children, their parents, and school staff, hostage at school number 1 in the Russian town of Beslan. The three-day siege ended in a chaotic and violent firefight, resulting in the deaths of 334 hostages, including 186 children, and over 700 injuries. This is the 2004 Beslan school siege in Russia. The second one is the lessen their demands to a more achievable proportion and continue negotiations. This is often seen when the individuals begins to realize the futility of their initial demands or feels pressure from law enforcement. A real-world example of this was the Manila hostage crisis in 2010, where negotiations were attempted but tragically failed due to miscommunication and escalation tension. So here's the example. The Manila hostage crisis, officially known as the Rizal Park hostage-taking incidents, took place when a gruntled former Philippine National Police officer named Rolando Mendoza hijacked a tourist bus in Rizal Park, Manila, Philippines, on August 23, 2010. The bus carried 25 people, 20 tourists and a tour guide from Hong Kong, and 4 local Filipinos. Third, and most ideally, the hostage taker may surrender to the police. This outcome is often the result of successful negotiation, psychological de-escalation, or external pressure. In such cases, lives are spared and justice can proceed through legal channels. Now, let's move on to the 4 causes of action for the commander. The first one is AMA's officer and assault. This is the most aggressive approach, typically reserved for situations where hostages are in immediate danger and negotiations have failed. However, it carries significant risk, collateral damage, loss of innocent lives, and escalations of violence are all possible consequences. As you can see in the picture, this is during the 1992 Waco siege in Texas. The decision to use force led to a deadly fire and the loss of dozens of lives. It's a stark reminder that brute force, while sometimes necessary, must be weighed carefully. The second option is selective sniper fire. This involves deploying highly trained marksmen to neutralize the hostage taker with precision. It's a surgical approach often used when the hostage taker is visible and possesses an imminent threat. A successful example of this was the 2016 Orlando nightclub shooting, where tactical teams used sniper fire to end the standoff. However, the timing and accuracy are critical. One mistake can cost lives. The third one is the commander may choose to use chemical agents such as tear gas to incapacitate the hostage taker. This method aims to disorient and disable without lethal force, but it's not without controversy. The picture that you will see in this slide is the 2002 Moscow theater hostage crisis. Russian forces used a chemical agent to subdue the hostage takers. Tragically, the gas also affected the hostages, resulting in over 100 deaths. The last one and most preferred is to contain the area and negotiate through a specially trained negotiator. This approach prioritizes dialogue, empathy, and psychological insight. The goal is to build rapport, reduce tension, and guide the hostage taker towards surrender. Negotiators are trained to listen actively, offer reassurances, and subtly shift the hostage taker's mindset. In many cases, this method has led to peaceful resolutions. For example, in a 2018 hostage situation in Los Angeles, negotiators successfully convinced the suspect to release hostages and surrender. Hostage taking incidents are more than tactical challenges. They're human tragedies. Behind every decision in life, a family, a future hanging in the balance. Whether through negotiation, precision, or force, the goal remains the same: to protect the innocent and restore peace. As we reflect on these choices and courses of action, let us remember the importance of preparation, empathy, and strategic clarity. Because in moments of crisis, it's not just about what we do, it's about how we do it.